and you know they will. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let the Yuletide be gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of your friends who gather near to us. They're always near to us, so dear they are once more. Through the years we're all gonna get together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Good morning, Unity, everyone. Presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. One more time. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Chaplains, I'm here with Forrest is also joining me to pray with us today. I'll be up here. She'll be in our amazing new prayer room. Whether you are in celebration, challenge, take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to pray with us, or you can also put a written request in the prayer box in the lobby at any time. And today I'm reading from today's daily word, Sunday, December 10th. Today's word is peace. Peace is the song of my heart. As the Advent journey continues, I seek to embody peace. No matter what might be happening around me, I can rise above that which troubles and distracts me. All that takes my attention away from my spiritual life and my relationship with God. Peace is always mine, an aspect of my divine identity. When peace feels far away, I take it as a cue to center myself in spirit. I return to the practices that calm my mind and open my heart. As I relax and enter the silence, I touch the peace and perfection of God and claim that peace as my own. Returning to activity, I carry peace with me. I bring harmony to my interactions, calm to my reactions, and tranquility to every corner of my life. I won't just be peaceful, I will be peace itself. And today's verse is from Jude 1:2. May mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance. Many blessings.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell, below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there are no countries. It's not so hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You might say I'm a dreamer, and I know I'm not the only one. I hope all of you people will join us, and we can live as one. Imagine there are no possessions. I wonder if we can. No greed or hunger, no brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing this world. You might say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know if all of us join together, we can live and share the world as one.
Beautiful, thank you. And Mark, you can't yell at me to turn my mute off. Ha! Well, good morning, good morning. Love and blessings to you on this extraordinary day. There we are. Thank you, thank you. Love and blessings to you on this extraordinary day. Thank you to those of you here in the room. Thank you to those online. We appreciate your flexibility. We zig, we zag. We know that God is in, around, and through it all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, as Rhett so beautifully outlined, as Karen emphasized, today is the second Sunday of Advent. Today we dive deeper into peace, interpersonal peace, up to and including world peace. So we light the second candle in our Advent wreath, the candle of peace. And we let the light of peace guide us and bless us on this day in this beautiful space. Before we move into our grounding meditation, I also wanted to wish those who celebrate the Festival of Lights a happy Hanukkah, knowing peace, knowing joy, knowing great love for you in the new year ahead. And very excited to announce that we have filled the position of facilities coordinator for our beloved community. If you would join me in welcoming a member of our community. Tim John is stepping into that role effective today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now get to work and fix the sound system, please. Oh my gosh. So if you don't know Tim, please take a few minutes. He's a delightful man with a wonderful sense of humor. He's got an extraordinary background in engineering. He is handy in more ways than we can count. Everyone who served on the interview committee recommended him highly and without reservation for the position. So we're very excited to have Tim with us. I called him and we were talking about his start date, and we were visiting yesterday morning. He said, "Oh, you want me to come shovel the snow?" I said, "No, we have Don Turner for that." So, and you know, perhaps Don might get half a Sunday off here sometime in the near future.
And he helped, he shoveled more than I did.
Bless you, Tim, and welcome. Welcome. And so, my friends, let us step into that moment of meditation. I invite you to settle into your chair, to feel the support, the physical support of the chair, the metaphorical support of the universe. I know that you are absolutely always supported. It can simply be no other way. And on this day, let us step into the words of the song that many of us have known so well for so long, that we continue to close our services with, and speak it in the affirmative. Yes, there is peace on earth. And yes, it begins with me. So I invite you back into the conscious presence of your body. Relaxing limbs and extremities. allowing that peaceful, easy feeling to flow through you, surround you, permeate those around you as we continue in that space of connection, in that space of harmony, in that space of peace. So I intentionally left my phone in my office this morning, and now I'm invited to hold Mark's through this process. As with so many things, we plan, God laughs.
That's right.
So we just allow ourselves to be with this moment. Thank you all for joining us in the flow that is so good and so powerful. We know there's no wrong. We know there's no bad. And Tim, please forgive me if I inadvertently added an S to your name. Tim's last name is John, singular, just like those in the Bible, Tim and John. So we welcome you once again, and we bless you in your service with us and for us. So as I was exploring what I might do with, what I might share today around peace, I'm thinking, I think it might be, and I'm completely making this up, it might be second only to love as perhaps one of the most Googled terms in the world. I didn't do it. I didn't get the gazillion hits, but I'm thinking there's a lot to say about peace. And what would be most fitting, what would be most appropriate for us on this day, on the second Sunday of Advent? And I was actually reflecting a bit. I shared with you, Rick and I spent Thanksgiving with my family. So it was my 2 nephews and my niece and my 5 great nieces and a whole lot of 4-leggeds. Herbie was invited, but he got a better offer. And as I was thinking about that in the context of peace, I'm thinking about what are my nieces and nephews up to in this world that many of us seem to be having challenges with in this moment, and rightfully so. And what are my great nieces up to? And what does peace mean and look like and feel like for them? So I was in that place of wonder. I was in that place of meditation. I was in that place of pondering, not necessarily asking questions, and just in that place of being in that space. And while I was working through my process, while I was doing what I was doing, I also started reflecting of my time in Up With People. And you have heard me mention that perhaps a fair amount. And we performed all over the world. And the message of Up With People, the mission of Up With People, is to build bridges of communication and understanding between the different peoples, countries, and cultures of the world. In other words, creating peace through communication, through one-to-one effort. And before I go further, I did want to address my untraditional attire this morning. If you can't see it from where you're sitting, it's a levitating Santa Claus. And the message is Om to the Om for the holidays. So perhaps I felt that fit with our message of peace. As we're feeling a little stressed out, maybe you're not, I might on occasion, I invite us into that space of peace in Om. So Om for the holidays. So I was sharing the Up With People story and the message of that organization to build communication of oneness with people around the world. And we did that through music. We did that through song. And the first song that came to my mind that we were singing 45 years ago that has direct application to what we're doing now is a song called Give the Children Back Their Childhood. And the songwriter wrote it after visiting Northern Ireland, the hot spot of the day, as many of us of a certain age will remember. And Karen is our musical expert, and many of you are extraordinary I have other gifts, so I will speak the lyric for you. The lyric goes something like this. Give the children back their childhood. Let the children run and play. Don't make them fight your battles. They're the ones who always seem to pay. Don't make battlefields of their playgrounds. Don't barricade their streets, or they'll grow up too soon, and they won't grow up complete. You can raise them on your hatred, revel in it, that's your right. And if you do, just remember, it will haunt their sleep at night. Don't feed their minds with your bitter lines and the prejudice that is yours. And they just may forget someday to carry on our wars. That speaks to me of peace. That speaks to me of an evolution of consciousness. That speaks to me about being mindful, being conscious of my interaction with all people, especially our young people, because they are awesome, they are giving, they are powerful, they are connected, they are committed, and they're still young, they're still impressionable. So my invitation for you on this second Sunday of Advent, on this day of peace, how are you showing up in peace for those who look to you? For those who see you as a role model, known or unknown, defined or undefined. How are you showing up as peace? The second song I wanted to share with you that spoke to my heart, you might be familiar with it. It's the only song other than Up With People that was in the Up With People show for 50 years. And the name of that song is What Color Is God's Skin? And that lyric goes something like this. Good night, I said to my little son, so tired out when the day was done. Then he said, as I tucked him in, tell me, Daddy, what color's God's skin? He looked at me with those shining eyes. I knew I could tell no lies. When he said, he looked at me with those shining eyes. I knew I could tell no lies. When he said, Daddy, why do the different races fight if we're the same in the good Lord's sight? And I responded, son, that's part of our suffering past. And the whole human family is learning at last that the thing we miss on the road we trod is walking as the daughters and the sons of God. So 45 years ago, we were singing about the whole human family is learning at last. Not so sure we're any farther along on that journey. And then the refrain is, what color is God's skin? What color is God's skin? I said it's black, brown, it's yellow, it's red, it is white. Everyone's the same in the good Lord's sight. De que color es la piel de Dios? De que color es la piel de Dios? Dije negra, amarilla, roja, blanca es. Todos son iguales a los ojos de Dios. Everyone is the same in the eyes of God. And finally, as I'm walking you through the Up With People lineup, the grand finale of our show was a song called Moonrider. And Moonrider was taken from the thoughts of astronaut commander Eugene Cernan, the last commander of one of the Apollo space flights, the last man the last human to set foot on the moon. And Moonrider was written from Captain Cernan's thoughts as he was standing on the moon, looking back at the earth. And that lyric goes something like this. The painter tries to paint it. The poet tries to say it. The philosopher tries to convey the meaning to your mind. And here I am, 250,000 miles away. One human being, one human seeing it for the first time. I can see the white of snow-capped mountains, the blues and turquoise of the ocean's blend. Australia and Asia coming around the corner. And I can't tell where one country starts and the other one ends. The sun is setting on the Pacific. They're just getting up in Rome. I don't see the lights of my city. All I can see is home. I see the world without any borders, without any fighting, without any fear. So, Captain, give the order. We're going to cross the next frontier. And the next verse is, I know this view won't last forever. Soon I'll be back in reality. And isn't it the way we perceive things that makes them what they will be? Talk to me about new thought messages, my friends. Perception is reality. What we think about, we bring about. Now, some accuse us of wearing rose-colored glasses, of cherry-picking from all of the world's popular traditions, perhaps. And there's nothing rose-colored about choosing to have a positive attitude. We are children of choice. We are spiritual beings sharing this human experience, and I get to decide. Happiness is our birthright, and I get to decide to live it. Peace is our birthright, and I get to decide to be peaceful, regardless of what's happening around me, regardless of whether the sound system is working or the pianos are having a Sunday off. I get to be in a place of peace, or not, right? And I am, forgive me if this sounds patronizing, it's not my intention. I am so proud of this community for the way that we stepped up already. Of course, Karen, being a consummate professional, breaks into a cappella singing, does her thing, more extraordinary than usual. 3 or 4 people get a piano, move it up here, move out the old one. Mark is stepping up, doing the best he can. Tim is saying, oh my goodness, I love these people, and this is my first day. And we all choose to be grounded. We all get to show each other that grace, right? We could be in a place of fear. We could be cursing the piano companies. We could be yelling at the people who manufacture cables. Why? We're focused on process. We get to choose to be in a place of grace. We get to choose to be in a place of goodness. We get to choose to be in a place of peace. So, yeah, so that was the whole Up With People adventure. I wanted to share one more piece with you around that song, What Color Is God's Skin? As I said, we performed it, in my particular case, in 8 countries on 3 continents in several different languages. And we were doing a smaller group assembly. There were maybe 20 of us at a children's hospital in Mexico City. And one of our show leaders happened to be a Mexican national, great fellow. He's looking around to see people who are trained to do the solos. Doesn't happen to be anybody in our group who's a soloist. So he looks at me. He says, Dave, you're gonna do the solo. And I'm like, oh, you're a very funny man. He said, no, we need somebody to do it, right? That's the way the song is written. That's the way it's most effective. And you've sung it many times, and you've got a lot of people here to support you, and you need to step up and do that. And I'm like, but that's how I got into public relations. They said, do you need to take him for 2 weeks and go do advance work ahead of the group and not be in the show? It's okay, we'll be okay without him. So, singing really wasn't my forte. And I said yes. And so, we did all the group things, I did the solo piece. I would love to tell you that my voice was resonating like Pavarotti. Not the case, not so much. I was squeaking and bending and, really still can't carry a tune if it had handles. And that was my opportunity, right? So I did the best I could. And I can't tell you how it resonated with any of the children. I can tell you some cringes from some of my castmate friends. But the thing that I remember most about that experience is the 1-year-old in the crib with his arm in a sling that I was singing with and singing to. He spoke as much English as I did Spanish. He had no idea. He felt the energy. Hopefully he felt my intention. Hopefully he felt that we are and were emissaries of peace. And when I started singing in Spanish, he started singing along. So I have to think that in my much less than fluent Spanish, that he was able to understand what I was trying to communicate. So that's the grace that I invite us into this holiday season, my friends. What is your intention? What is the energy that you're choosing to bring to the family gatherings? Are you going to show up and still be the 3rd child or the 10th child or the only child with all of the pros and cons and benefits and distractions that affords? Or are you going to show up as you are now, as a delightful, involved, engaged, spiritual being who is choosing to spend time with these beloveds who are members of your family? Are you going to show up in the franticness of the season? I made the mistake of going to the post office yesterday before it opened, thinking that I would be there early. There was this lovely lady there who had way too many packages in front of me, and I said, may I help you with those? She said, oh yes, thank you, and we waited in line and chatted for 20 minutes. And then when the door opened, she went to grab them, and one fell over, and this one was sliding off. And I said, may I help you? And she said, yes, thank you. I just want to get in and get out. And I said, don't we all, darling? So, in that moment, she was like, yeah, we're kind of all on this path together. So she moved into a moment of peace. She allowed me to help. And that's what I'm inviting you into. Where can you help? And where might you ask for help? And my sense is that will support you as you choose how you want to show up and the energy that you want to put into the world in this particular glorious holiday season. And as we started our meditation with, let us think about the song that we sing every week. Let there be peace on earth. Macro, huge, peace on earth. We're all singing a blessing for the entire planet. That has to raise the vibration somewhere, on something, somehow, right? Let there be peace on earth. And let it begin with me. So that's the mantra, that's the meditation that I invite you into this week. How are you showing up as peace? And I invite you to consider that even in your most challenging moment, perhaps you don't have them, I tend to have a few. Even in your most challenging moment, You are peace. You can always get back to center. It's one thought away. It's one breath away. Take a moment. Be as gentle with yourself, in my case, as I am with my 5 great nieces, as I am with the 2-year-old, and as I am with the 10-year-old, right? If I wouldn't say it to them, I'm not going to say it to myself. I want to offer my congratulations to our beloved Susan, who's going to meet a new grandchild this week. Yeah, right? She didn't have anything to do with it, and she's pretty awesome. And if Susan wouldn't say something to this precious, gentle, beautiful soul, I would invite you to consider not to say it to yourself. Right? So you hear where I'm going with this. Be peace. And when we state the affirmation, when we state the positive intention that there is peace on earth, my friends, that's not wishful thinking. There is peace on earth. There also happens to be war, and there is peace on earth. And by affirming that within ourselves and by affirming that on the planet, again, we're raising the vibration. We are creating more of what we want, not more of what we don't want. Rose-colored glasses? No. Firmly grounded in reality with a clear intention of where we want to be? Yes. That is what we are stepping into. That is this moment of peace. That is this generation of peace. That is living in peace eternally. Once again, as we sing every week, stated in the affirmative, yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Please join me in prayer. In this time, in this place, in this space, I know peace. I know those who are present are grounded in peace with the intention of sharing and spreading peace to friends, to neighbors, to loved ones, that we get to show up exactly as the energy that we want to put forth, that we want to grow and to expand. So I bless it. I bless the words, I bless the intentions, whether on the global scale, oh my goodness, it is after all the season for world peace. And I say yes, and I sincerely affirm that on behalf of everyone within the sound of my voice. That is who we are. That is the energy, that is the message that we are bringing during this season. To the micro, I know peace for every individual within the sound of my voice. I release circumstance. I release shopping deadlines. I release holiday card to-dos. I release meal preparation and house cleaning and decorating. It's all good. It's all part of the journey. And I know at our core that we are peace, that we are peaceful, and that we are peace-loving. So I release, I let go, I simply allow it to be. Thank you, Spirit. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so it is, and so I am,
And so I am.
and so we are.
And so we are. That was gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so beautiful, people, from this place of peace, from this place of grace, this is our opportunity to step into our time of giving, We are so grateful today and always for your generous gifts, for your tithes, for your offerings. You see, it is those offerings that enable us to continue to work with the Christmas Tree Project. It is those gifts and offerings that allow us to continue to support Westside Cares and adopting families and providing holiday meals, and indeed supporting members within our own community. So thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for the powerful understanding that money is God in action, and that we bless and honor all of your gifts that are shared with us. We do have a myriad of ways for you to provide those offerings if you're not in the sanctuary with us, through our website, online, through the mail, and we just say thank you. Bless you and thank you. If you would, please join me in the affirmation of our gifts and offerings. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Wow, this is going to be amazing. I've never sung this song a cappella in my life, but I'll tell you what my mother used to say. They told me when I was a kid not to sing so loud, and she said to do it anyway. I wrote this a couple years ago, and it's still so pertinent. If you want peace, let it start with you. And if you want joy, the same thing's true. If you want love, it's up to me and you. Then I know we're gonna find peace in our lifetime. Ooh, in a kind of world, we know we're gonna find a new world. That's right. Where we can live together peacefully. Ooh, it's a hurting world, you know it's true, and it's a worried world. I know that too. It's hard sometimes to think about harmony. Look all around at the people you see. Look in the mirror, be that peace you want to be. So if you want peace, let it start with you. And if you want joy, the same thing's true. If you want love, it's up to me and you. Then we're gonna find, we're gonna have peace in our lifetime. For the sake of our children, we just got to find a way. Starting right here, starting right now, starting right here today. So if you want peace, let it start with you. And if you want joy, you know the same thing's true. If you want love, it's up to me and you. Yeah, I know it's true, that I know we'll find. We're gonna find peace, we're gonna find love, we're gonna find joy in our life, in our lifetime.
Outstanding, as always.
Good song, huh?
I might think we talked about this.
It does happen, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, just amazing. Thank you, thank you. Peace in our lifetime. Well, thank you for the generous gifts and tithes and offerings. How good it is to be in a community that recognizing that being in the flow is good. That when I give, I receive. That when I receive, I give. and whatever I offer with an open and loving heart is returned manyfold. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. All is well, and so it is.
So it is.
So, my friends, we have been doing our children's blessing for almost a year now. I think we started in February, and our children's program continues to grow. Thank you, beloved Donna. We've had 1 child, we've had 2, we've had 4, we've had 6, and we just continue to create and hold that space. So let us rub our hands together and create that positive flow as we welcome all of these divine souls into this community and know that they are loved and blessed around the world. You are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings that you are.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. One more time. You are the face of God. You are. I hold you in my heart. I do. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Beautiful. And that is what we know to be true this day and all days. And finally, my friends, as we move to a close of this part of our ritual on this day, I invite you to join us in the fellowship hall. Donna and Jackie continue to do amazing things. Susan is an extraordinary part of our fellowship team. So many hands make wonderful work and meals for us all. Please join us as a part of that ongoing conversation as we break bread and fellowship together. And finally, as we move into our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, I invite...
Prayer for protection.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got so excited about the food. Last week it was the chocolate cake. Busted. Okay. See, the best laid plans once again. So, I'm sorry, I will get to that, I promise. This Wednesday, the 13th, Mercury goes into retrograde once again. For those who are not familiar, Mercury is the planet that is in charge of all things communication-oriented. And it appears as though it's moving backward. So that's where Mercury retrograde comes into account. So I'm blaming everything that happened today on Mercury including my not knowing our order of service. So, if you would please, join me in our prayer for protection for this day and all days. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And so it is. Please do stay in your rows, join hands if you choose. As we know, there is peace on earth, and it begins with me.
You ready? You gotta sing loud.